Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Friday edition of the JP Peterson Show as we wrap up a very interesting week. It's been an interesting couple weeks for our local teams. And this morning, we are going to kind of talk about all of them and where they're at right now, who's closest to winning a championship, what does the organization look like, are there going to be major changes moving forward in these organizations? We're going to take them one by one and just kind of break it all down and say, where are we at right now and what needs to be done? So I think it's going to be fun. And we look forward to you guys jumping in here as well. I'd love to get your thoughts. Where do you think the Lightning are at? Do they need major changes? We're talking a major overhaul. I don't think so. So we'll get into that. And we'll do the same with the Rays and the Buccaneers where they're at. So we invite your comments. You can do that on YouTube, obviously. You can do that on Facebook. You can do that on X. And we'll get you guys into the show here because I'd love to hear your thoughts overall on where these programs are. Do they need major changes? What needs to happen in our three major sports here? So I think we could have a lot of fun with this morning. Good morning to you, Tim Ham, from our Dallas affiliate, FanStream Sports DFW. What's up, partner? How are you?
Good morning. I'm dealing with outages on social media this morning, and I don't like it. My X account for some reason is down. I'm not able to do anything on my – I can do it on my computer, but I can't get it on my mobile phone.
Really?
Did I just age myself because I said mobile phone?
You did say mobile phone.
JP, I might have had a lot of rumplements last night watching the Stars.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
So there's this shot called an Alaskan oil spill. So those of you that are familiar with it, which nobody usually is, I usually have to introduce it to people. It is a layered shot, and it is one part rumplements, one part Jägermeister, and one part blue Curacao.
Ooh.
And I might have had about 11 of those last night during the Stars.
Oh, my Lord.
On top
11
of my
shots?
Red Bulls.
11 shots?
Oh, that's just a normal Thursday for me.
Wow. That's impressive. That is impressive.
But, yeah, so I'm struggling with my mobile phone this morning. And with
mobile phone.
But, yeah, so.
I get it. This is listen, there's so many opinions out there, and obviously there's been a cacophony, as I put on Twitter this morning, a cacophony of voices about trading Nikita Kucherov, who's a finalist for the MVP, the Hart Trophy, with Draisaitl and who else? Is it Hellebuck?
Hellebuck, yeah. Connor Hellebuck.
I mean, I think given the fact that he got snubbed last year as the Art Ross Trophy winner, winning it 2 years in a row, even the mean-spirited media that hates Kucherov and hates the Tampa Bay Lightning, I think they're almost compelled to get this done, right? I mean, can I assume that he's going to win this? Maybe. I guess we can't assume it, but he should win it. So I asked you before the show, has there ever been a reigning MVP traded in any sport, a reigning MVP? And we got to go back to what, 1968?
Yep.
1968, the great Wilt Chamberlain, Wilt the Stilt, traded from the Sixers to the Lakers.
As a three-time reigning MVP.
A three-time reigning MVP because he demanded a trade. He wanted out of Philadelphia. Who wouldn't want out of Philadelphia, right?
Correct.
Especially with his prodigious endeavors, he was probably looking for a place where he could find more beautiful women.
In L.A.
Which is a whole nother story, kids. If you don't know it, look it up.
Yeah, please look it up.
Please look it up. Enjoy yourself.
Yes.
Educate yourself. So is it even possible is it even possible for, in this day and age, to trade a reigning MVP, a two-time scoring champion in Nikita Kucherov? Now, listen, I get it. He's had some troubles in the series. There's no question about it. And he's had some troubles in the playoffs. Did I like his body language in Game 5? No, I did not. I did not. But I know who Kucherov is, and I know what he is. And to me, when you have a talent like that, it's not a tradable commodity. Like, that is not your issue. I mean, if you're looking at this team, I think it's kind of silly, actually. And, you know, we had Brian Engblom on yesterday, my post-game partner on the Lightning post-game show, who knows a little about hockey, wouldn't you say? 3-time Stanley Cup champ, longtime voice analyst for a major network at NBC, comes and now has covered the Lightning for, 5 years?
Top defenseman in the league for 10 years. Yeah. Yeah.
I would dare say that there's not too many people on the planet that know the game better than Brian Engblom. I mean that sincerely.
Yeah.
There's a small handful of people. And I implore you to go listen to our interview that we did with him yesterday. You can go find it on all of our platforms there. And Tim's actually going to cut it out and repost it today. And I put that question to him, and he laughed. As he should.
Yeah.
As he should. He laughed. And it's not that we're not criticizing Kucherov. He did not play well. But you also have to put things in perspective. And if you watch the games, and not just, watch them on TV, but watch them in the arena where you can see all the shenanigans going on behind the play that the cameras don't always catch. And you put yourself in his body, I would test you, to go out there and not be frustrated.
Yeah. By
a team that has, in my mind, the best defense in the league and knows that in the playoffs they're going to have a lot of leeway to do whatever the hell they want physically. And they did exactly that. They were very, very smart. They executed their game plan to perfection. And you're going to watch them do it to a lot of really good players in this league. Let's see how good Austin Matthews is in this next series. Let's see how much room Mitch Marner gets. And let's see how they play. Now, again, I'm not excusing Kucherov. I mean, the play that led to the Sam Bennett's goal, where he tries, doesn't really make a great effort, tries another silly pass on the power play, gets the puck taken, he turns it over, doesn't really make an effort to go after it. Does that piss me off? Yeah, it does. I don't like to see that. And I mentioned this before, and I may be kind of a lone wolf on this one, but, the leadership in the room. I think Stamkos had a great way of dealing with Nikita Kucherov. I think Kucherov really, really respected him as a father figure, if not an older brother figure. And I think Stamkos had a way of taking kind of the moodiness of Kucherov and managing it. And when we lost Stamkos, I think we lost a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, is Cooper frustrated? He has to be. You hear some of this chatter about him wanting to leave. I hear some chatter about, this would be a mutual thing. I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think the Lightning are stupid enough to want to fire John Cooper.
Right.
I mean, I think that's ridiculous. Now, if John Cooper has lost his zeal, I mean, I have no indication that that's the case for coaching Kucherov or for coaching this team. You don't want to keep a man around that doesn't want to be here. I haven't heard him say anything. I haven't seen anything. I haven't heard anything to that end. And listen, when you lose in the first round 3 years in a row, there's going to be a lot of frustration. But again, as we said yesterday, and as Brian Engblom agreed with me, as I said on my monologue yesterday, context is everything.
Yeah.
Context is everything. You lost to the defending champs this year, who Brian and I both agree are better this year than they were last year. And last year I thought we gave them a pretty good series. This year it was a little bit more, and the Lightning damn near got it to 2-2. Damn near got it to 2-2. And all the shenanigans that went on that was allowed should not have been. But I'm not going to sit here and say that the Lightning should have won the series. That's not the case. The Panthers are the better team right now. And as Cooper said in his post game, we don't need to learn anything from the Panthers. We know what to do. And he knows what to do. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't involve trading the MVP and a 2-time scoring leader. What you do is you go build around him. That's what JBB did the first time they won cups. You got to find better players around him. The difference in the game the other night was the third line. Luosterainen, Marchand, and Lundell. 8 points. They were the difference a lot in the series. And yeah, did they score? Were other players scoring more than Kucherov on the Lightning? Yeah, of course. They weren't getting the treatment that Kucherov was getting. And if you go and watch the series, every single time Kucherov, when he didn't have the puck, he was shadowed. And I mean shadowed. They never let him breathe. And when he got the puck, you had one guy in front of him and another guy coming to run him almost every single time he touched the puck. Now, in those cases, is it the fault of the superstar player that he's not getting assists or scoring? No. The other guy's got to pick it up. And when we were winning cups, Coleman, Gaudreau, and Gord were doing that. The fourth line was doing that. The Panthers are a damn good team. Don't be fooled by thinking your team sucks because they've been out 3 years in a row in the first round. You go back and look at the Toronto series 3 years ago. It was a really good Toronto team, number one. And number two, I think if I'm trying, my brain doesn't work. Braden Point didn't play. I'm pretty sure Braden Point didn't play in that series, and they lost 3 overtime games in that series.
Yeah.
So, and then you lose to what were the eventual champions in the Panthers last year, a hell of a good team. And then you lose to them again this year, and they may be better than they were last year. So if we got to the conference finals, would you be saying trade Cooch? If we got to the conference finals and lost to the Panthers, would you be saying trade Cooch? Do you think the Lightning would have beaten Ottawa? I think they would have.
Yep.
Do you think they would have beaten Toronto? Yeah, I think they would have. I think they'd have a damn good shot. I think they're better than a bunch of teams. Would they have beaten Montreal? Absolutely. Would they have beaten who else was it? Who did Carolina? I'm trying to remember.
Me and you could have beaten Montreal this year just by ourselves.
Yeah. So it's not like they're the 8th best team in the East.
Devils. Yeah, you're looking at the Devils, too.
The Devils are beat up. Yeah. So, I mean, they're not. So if they'd advanced a couple rounds or even one round, would you be going, okay, we're getting better? You got to put it in context. So I'll defer to Brian Engblom, who said we're not laughed at the notion of trading Nikita Kucherov. You don't do that. You go to work on the rest of your team. Yeah, now Kuch is going to be 32. Okay, I see a lot of good players. To me, and he just won 2 scoring titles. And people are like, oh, he's getting old. He just won 2 scoring titles. What the F are you talking about? I mean, my God. You just watch the freaking games. Look at what's going on. And listen, do I think JBB is going to make some bold moves? He could. I don't think it's going to involve Nikita Kucherov. I don't think it's going to involve Vasilevsky. I mean, these people really saying we need to trade both of the Russians. Like what? Like, is that a political thing? Like Vasilevsky was just voted by the players as the best goalie in the game. Again, by a wide margin. And you know who was voted by the players as the best playmaker in the game? Nikita Kucherov. Let's trade the best playmaker in the game. Are you out of your effing mind? Does he need a little bit of an attitude adjustment? Probably. But, you know, I remember that scene in Airplane where the kid comes up to visit with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Right, remember? And the kid's like, my dad says you're lazy. My dad said, you go, hey, kid, you try getting beat up by Bill Andrews. And running up.
You try dragging Walton up and down the court for 40 minutes every night.
I want to take these people go, hey, you try taking that elbow from Kachuk and then taking 17 hits from Ekblad and Luostarinen and then 17 up every single time you get, a slash here, a kidney shot there. You try to do that for 6 games and come out and play hockey. It's the same thing. I mean, it's laughable. It is absolutely laughable. And listen, if it comes to pass, I think it's a tremendous mistake. A tremendous mistake. You don't trade MVP players. You figure it out and build around them and figure out how to get the best out of them, like you've done before. And it's not like this is an MVP selfish player who's never won anything. He's won 2 cups. And as Brian said, very astutely, he could have won the Conn Smythe in both of those.
Yep.
Now, you may say, JP, that was a long time ago. It wasn't that long ago. And he's still winning scoring titles. So these so-called experts out there that are talking about, oh, he doesn't get along. He's always been a moody guy. And it's also happens to be, people that, listen, Kucherov is not a media darling. We get it. He doesn't like the media. The media doesn't like him. And even our local media, some of them. So whatever. I don't care. It's not a popularity contest. And the last people they need to be pleasing are the media. Go do your job. And your job is to score goals and make plays. And that's what he does. And I understand the playoffs have been a rough go for him. But to me, it's up to John Cooper. It's up to this coaching staff. And it's up to Julien Brisebois to take this beautiful talent, this wonderful talent, and figure out how to get it done in the playoffs. And in my mind, you got to fight fire with fire. You got to fight fire with fire. You got to get more physical. You got to get bigger. You got to get guys that play like those guys at the Panthers play. You play with that kind of effort that you don't give them any time and space to breathe. You got to match that. And the Lightning didn't match that. Now, if that's a lack of leadership, if it's a lack of something within this group of players, I don't know. That's for JBB to figure out. But in my mind, you got a great core of players here. Hagel, Cirelli, Point, Kucherov, Vasilevsky, Hedman, Chernak, McDonough led the league in plus minus. You guys are losing your minds over, look at the numbers that they put up in the regular season. And I get it. Playoffs are different, which burns my ass. Can we just not have a consistent game from playoffs? Can we just not call it the same way? Does it have to be 2 different sports? You have to build 2 different teams? It's ridiculous. But anyway,
agreed.
That's the rules. That's the way they play it. So you got to go out and get some more grit and get some more sandpaper and go get those guys and figure it out. But to me, blowing up this core, it's not time for that yet. Bobrovsky's 36 years old. Look how good he's playing. Vasilevsky had a dip because he had a back injury. He's now made an adjustment to his training and is going to be the best goalie in the league for the next 5 to 6 years, or at least in the top 5. You want to trade that? Kucherov is a 2-time scoring champion. I mean, he's probably going to be the MVP, and you want to trade that. Ridiculous. So let's transition over, and I think this is a perfect time to transition over to another franchise. Actually, let's take a break. Timmy. I want to come back. I want to get some of the comments on the Bolts, and then we're going to transition to the Rays, which you want to talk about a lack of talent and a lack of star power. I mean, I'm surprised anyone buys a ticket. It's unbelievable sometimes when you look at how bad that team can be. So we'll do that when we come back. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawgroup.com. Get a free case evaluation. Go to the website, JeevesLawGroup.com, and contact them through there. You can email them, you can call them, and they will give you that free case evaluation. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Call the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawgroup.com. 930 spokesman, offices, Tampa, St. Pete. Back at 3.
Spring means a time of renewal and Rays baseball, and the folks at Italiano Insurance want to welcome the Rays to Tampa and remind you it's time to renew those insurance policies with the now famous Italiano Insurance Checkup. Let the experienced and friendly agents shop your policy for the best price and coverage. Famous for saving me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year and over $500 on our homeowners. Now that's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Costs less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a big whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with the all-star agents at Italiano Insurance. 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Rays! JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park. So free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rays play. We'll see you there. Are you looking to renovate your home, rebuild after the hurricanes, or build your dream home from scratch? Well, let me tell you about my friend Jason Fawcett and On-Site Construction. They have over 1,450 satisfied clients, 25 years of experience, over 500 designs, and a talented team of over 40 construction professionals. They believe building something exceptional begins by truly focusing on all the details, even the smallest ones. We understand that construction can be a daunting process, and we're here to make it as smooth and stress-free as possible. Quality is non-negotiable at On-Site Construction. We use the finest materials, employ the most skilled tradespeople, and adhere to the highest industry standards to deliver a product we're proud of and that you're going to love. Our project management is meticulous with a focus on completing projects on time and on budget. Your happiness is our primary driver. So give us a call at 813-579-5789 or check out our incredible website at onsiteconstructionfl.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Riveters. Hey, if you didn't know, all those UFC events are always free, no cover charge at Riveters. We got another one coming up this weekend. Also, they got the big concert at Ray J, the country concert this weekend. Don't forget to stop by Riveters for great food and drink, and please tell them JP sent you. They might give you something free. You never know. Great folks over there. The customer service is absolutely amazing. So go say hello to Tara and Andres and Jade and all the great folks over there. They are fantastic. The food, drinks, everything. Prices are awesome. Everybody gets price shocked when they go to restaurants and bars these days. and not at Riveter, especially during happy hour. They have $5, $6 premiums. You can get a nice little beer buzz without spending your mortgage payment. So head on over there to Riveters. Great folks.
Lord knows I got price shocked last night after 11 shots.
Yeah, how much are those shots?
So they're $11 each.
There you go.
But thankfully, I know the girl, and I didn't have to pay for all of those. So
she just got fired, by the way.
No, she did.
The boss is watching.
He did one with us too.
All right, we got some baseball things coming in. So, Sergio, I will get to you in a second.
Hey, can I give a shameless plug real quick, JP?
Of course, absolutely.
As most people may or may not know, I don't follow this sport, but I know that those that do are very passionate about it. Tomorrow is the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, yes.
And our good buddy, our colleague, sports legend, Norm Hitzkiss, is one of the biggest horse race fans that I have ever been around in my entire life. He and his beautiful wife, Mary, are on their way to the Derby, and he's going to experience it live for one of the few times in his 82 years of existence.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
So he's on his way up there. However, I think I brought this up last year because every single year Norm does his fantasy call of the Kentucky Derby.
Yes.
And that Norm Hitzkiss podcast is out as of this morning. So head over to FanStream Sports if you're into that, because Norm will break down the entire field for you. And then he gives his live 2-minute fantasy call of the Kentucky Derby.
That's great. Yeah, I listened. Remember, I think we played that last year.
I think we did. Yeah.
And
it is incredible how he can do that. But his pick for the winner is on the podcast. I don't want to spoil it for everybody.
All right. I was going to write it down, but
you guys go
listen to the podcast.
Yeah, go check it out.
I love it. Yeah, I know we don't do a lot of horse racing here. My mentor Chris Thomas used to do a lot of that.
Yep.
We'd have the guests on for Kentucky Derby. Sorry we didn't do that this year, guys. But my buddy Jack Hannon, big listener of the show, also big into horses, used to own horses with Chris Thomas. Superfuse. Many of you will remember the great Superfuse. We were chatting about that the other day. So, yeah, I love the horses. I've had the great opportunity to go to the Derby twice. Wow. Once as a fan and once as a reporter. So we got back in the paddocks and all that, and it was really, really cool. I was there for Smarty Jones. That was an incredible atmosphere, and if you've never been to the Derby, bucket list thing, gotta go. Absolutely.
I've never been. Go. I've been to Lord knows how many Indy 500s I've been to, but it's on my bucket list. Again, I'm not into the sport. I just want to go experience it one time to say that I have,
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I tell you what, we'll get Norm on when they get back, maybe middle of next week or so, to talk a little bit about it and share his experience.
Absolutely love that. Love that. Yeah, let's do that. By the way, we're brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Make sure you get that Italiano Insurance checkup with your auto insurance and your homeowner's insurance. Let them do all the work, price it out for you. It could save you thousands of dollars. It just takes one call. You don't have to do anything. 813-877-7799. Well, you do have to tell them how much you're paying, what your insurance is, et cetera, and then they'll see if they can beat it. So give them a call, 813-877-7799. All right, just some quick bolts takes here from you guys. Thomas Casper says John Cooper has coached the Lightning to 4 Stanley Cup finals. And I'm not here to say that there can't be changes made eventually. I just don't think this is the time. I still think they're pretty damn close. He says Vasi has been solved by every team. Then why was he voted the best goalie in the game?
Yeah, I don't know about that, Thomas.
Yeah. Now this I will agree with you. Cooch needs support crashing the net. I can't tell you how many times I looked up in this series and saw 2 Panthers in front of the net, in front of Vasi. And then at the other end of the ice, how many times I saw Lightning players skating around the net.
Yep.
To the outside, skating around the net. Nobody in front to even pass it. Nobody in front.
You're talking about 5-on-5, right? You're not even talking about power plays. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jiminy Christmas. Even the power play. It's like the guy, I'm like, I never felt a physical net front presence. in front of the goalie. We just got to be better in those places, in my opinion. Sergio Biltres says our first lines need to step it up in the playoffs, need some changes, maybe listen to offers for Cooch, but our stars did not show up again. Again, let's see how the Maple Leaf Stars play. And listen, if Austin Matthews has 6 goals, 7 goals in this series, I will recant. I will recant. But let's see how it goes. Let's see how those top lines play against the Panthers. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but we'll see. Thomas Casper says Mike Sullivan just hired by the Rangers, $5.5 million. John Cooper, $5.3 million. Is that right? Peter Laviolette, $4.9. Bednar, $4.9. So clearly Cooper's making top-notch money. But I don't think if he's going to leave, it's not going to be about money. I can tell you that. It's not going to be about money. Michael Lewis says the loudest voice saying the Lightning should trade Cooch doesn't even watch the game. He watches the NBA. So who is that loudest voice? Who are you talking about, Michael Lewis? Let's name names.
Yeah, we need to know who that is.
We do that on this show. We don't care. Mike Breslow, with the expansion fee expected to be north of $2 billion, $2.5 billion, isn't really that much. They need to build a stadium. Orlando has no interest in using tourism tax towards an MLB stadium. Yeah, this is the Orlando stuff. I'm going to get into that here in just a minute. Cooch is at maximum value if they can't sign supporting players. Why can't they sign supporting players? Why can't they make other trades? There's a lot of different things you can do that are on the board.
There's not an issue of players not wanting to come there, right? Like they're not going to imagine why nobody would.
No, people want to come, can't wait to get to Tampa to play, and they'll take less money to do it. We've seen that time and time again. No, I get the frustration, but I think you guys are really missing the context here. Sergio Biltres says Cooch is non-factor in the last 2 playoffs. Doesn't matter what he does in the regular season. Team is getting older as well. Again, I can't argue that, but I don't think it's just about Cooch. Other players have to step up. And as other players step up, it takes a little bit more heat off of Kucherov. John Cooper has to solve this as well. He's got to figure out how to get past the Panthers. And I think it's more personnel related than it is coaching. And I do think that Kucherov needs to be better. I'm not saying he doesn't. He needs to find a way to be better. He needs to find a way to not allow the Panthers to get into his kitchen. He's got to stay in the fight. But there's no question about that. But trading him, who are you going to get back? And how do you know if they're any better?
Yeah.
Now show me a package that includes, some other players that are better than Kucherov that you think are going to be better in the playoffs. Who are you trading them for? I hear a lot. Give me some names. Give me some reasonable trades. And let's compare apples to apples instead of apples to fantasy. Who are you going to go get?
JP, he's 31 years old, and he's not the biggest guy on the ice. Is there any chance that maybe age is catching up with him a little bit here?
Kucherov?
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't that show more in the regular season?
That's what I would think, but by the end of the regular season, you can get pretty tired.
Yeah.
And haven't the Lightning played like more games?
Not in the last couple of years as they've been out in the first round.
Well, but collectively, like over the last 5 years, I think them and the Stars are 2 of the teams that have played the most.
Yeah, but it's been a while. I mean, I'm not going to say that he's, tired from, the 23 finals,
right.
22 finals. I'm not going to say that. He's had plenty of time to recharge. Again, I think
that from other guys either, too. Really.
Again, Timmy, if we lost in the conference finals this year, would people be talking about this? No, you just happen to be matched up in the first round against the best team in the league 2 years in a row.
Yeah, you're
correct. That's the problem. And they know they figured out how to stop Kucherov. We got to figure out how to get him free. And again, there's a lot of other things that I don't think the Lightning are doing. Can we talk about the defensive breakdowns in front of the net? Can we talk about a power play that looks just completely discombobulated in this series? Is that Kucherov's fault too? Everything's his fault? There's a lot of issues with this team. They weren't physical enough. Is that his fault? They're out hit 46-26 in almost every game. Is that Kucherov's fault? Barkov in front of the net with nobody around him. Ekblad, nobody around him. Kachuk, nobody around him. Is that Kuch's fault? I know some of the defensive breakdowns you might put, the turnovers don't help. I get that. 100%. He's got to stop that. But there are other ways to manage this issue other than trading the best playmaker in the game. I don't think that's the answer. And neither does Brian Engblom.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second here. So we've been talking about matchup issues that the Lightning have with the Panthers. We've been talking about how the Panthers have just erased Kucherov the past couple of seasons. At what point do we stop blaming players and do we start blaming coaching for not being able to make adjustments in the playoffs?
I think that's fair.
And again, I
think that's another thing to blame.
I'm not calling for the head of John Cooper by any means. I'm just asking. Part of the blame obviously belongs on your coaching staff, and maybe not all John Cooper, but is the head coach. But you have assistants that are involved in defense and on offense and things like that. So at what point maybe do we start looking there rather than blaming Cooch here for his poor playoff performance?
All right, I need to move over to the Rays because we have limited time today because I got to catch a plane. So I talked about you look at the Lightning, right? You have arguably 4 Hall of Famers on this team. Vasilevsky, Kucherov, Hedman, and when we had Stamkos, obviously he was going to the Hall of Fame. So we've had star power aplenty on this team. The Buccaneers, Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield, Vita Vea, Levante David, Antoine Winfield. I mean, Chris Godwin. We got it's not supernova star power, but we got some stars. Here's your Rays lineup for last night.
Oh no.
Chandler Simpson, a budding star, just up from AAA. Yandy Diaz, a former batting champion. Whew. I'm not calling him a star. Nobody's paying money to go see Yandy Diaz play. He's a singles hitter, a doubles hitter. No disrespect. Love the dude. Love the guy. But he's about as exciting as milk toast. Brandon Lau and his 209 average. Not paying to see that, and gets replaced by Curtis Meade, who actually got a hit in the pinch hit situation. Jonathan Aranda sitting 308. Great. Good player. I love that he's finally hitting at the major league level. He's spent most of his time in AAA. Nobody in the world knows who Jonathan Aranda is unless you've been these Rays geeks that live in Durham.
Batting 308 this year.
Yeah. What's that?
He's batting 308 this year.
Yeah, but again, outside of any baseball fan, if you walked around International Plaza and said, "Who's Jonathan Aranda?" You say, "Oh, is he a designer? Which store does he? Where can I buy his clothes?" Nobody knows who Jonathan Aranda is.
It's my travel agent.
Junior Caminero, budding star. Again, just up from the minors for the most part. Meisner, AAA player, but batting 316. Love it. Jankowski, just up from AAA. Caballero, nice player, but, Ben Rortvedt hitting 086 and can't throw anybody out last night. And they lose 8-2 to the Royals and get swept by the Royals. By the way, if you wanted to see a star, there was one at the field last night. His name's Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah.
And he's probably the best player in the game. He is wow. Absolutely wow factor. And the Royals got some good young hitters. They do. They're 17-15 after sweeping the Rays, and they've got some good young players. But again, outside Bobby Witt Jr. And Sergio Perez, you probably hadn't heard of any of them either. There were 8,900 people at the Rays last night. They did not sell it out. And before people lose their minds about, it doesn't work in Tampa, that they'd have had 3,000 at the Trop for the Royals in a midweek game on an day. So let's not go there. So this Rays franchise, when you look at it from 40,000 feet, is a joke. It's a joke because of the owner who can't get a stadium deal done and is effed around Tampa and St. Pete we don't need to go through it. But the fact that these players, and you heard it from Brandon Lau last night, as much as I love outdoor baseball and the fact that they're playing at Steinbrenner Field, which I think is better than the Trop, okay? And by the way, before you say, and Brandon Lau said, listen, it's tough to play here. It's hard to see at night. It's a small dimensions, no foul. They haven't. The ball dies in left field like nobody's business, and so they're frustrated with a little bit of that. But not like the Trop is any better. Willie Adames could never see the ball in the Trop to hit, and a lot of players complained about seeing the ball in the Trop to hit. Not to mention the stupid ass catwalks, which brings me to this: why can we not build in 15 years? And we know why. It's because of one dude. And I'm so tired of people dragging us down. Well, look, Orlando can do it. They've got $2.5 billion. I got a ton. And I get it. You guys, well, look at what they're doing. Well, first of all, they haven't done anything yet. They've got pledges. They've got pledges of money, which is not real money. Trust me on that. They've got they don't want to spend any tourist tax dollars because all those dollars are already spoken for the next 10 to 15 years. And because the people that know about tourism over there know that people aren't coming to Orlando to watch a baseball game. That's not why they're coming to Orlando. And they're not going to spend $1 billion tourist dollars on building a stadium to do so. And yes, they've got $2.5 billion. The expansion fee is going to be $2.5 billion. Then you need $1.5 billion to build that. You want to show the renderings, Tim? Show it. You need another $1.5 billion to build this beautiful stadium. And by the way, what they're not showing in those renderings are bumper-to-bumper traffic all around this area, 24/7. Yeah, the renderings always
look great.
They always give you a chubby, don't they? Sure they do. They're renderings,
I think it's ugly as sin, to be honest with you. That does not look like a baseball stadium to me.
Yeah, I don't even know what they got going there.
And by the way, Dreamers has to be one of the stupidest names I've ever heard for a sports franchise in my life. Give me a break.
The Orlando, the Magic.
It's stupider than Magic, which I think is also equally stupid.
Yeah. So it's, good for Orlando. I'm happy for them. They're doing it the right way. They're not targeting the Rays. They're just saying, hey, baseball, here we are. We got some money. We got some dreams. And let's go. Major League Baseball is not paying attention to that. They see it all over. Now, Portland just voted money to their downtown waterfront stadium. That carries weight. They haven't voted for any public dollars in Orlando yet. These are all pledges. And, we have a guy in Workman who is going to be the principal owner. So they've got a guy that's pledged some money. That's great. Get some deep pocket guys. That's good. This is not – everybody's making such a big deal about this. There's so much more going on behind the scenes in Tampa to get this done. And I'm tired of talking about it. The point is, with a real owner, we should have had a real baseball stadium built in Tampa by now.
Y'all should
And
be
we
celebrating the 10th anniversary of your new stadium right now.
Yeah, exactly. This is the most ridiculous thing ever in sports in terms of ownership. This is the 10th largest market. This should have been done a long time ago. And you all know now what I've been telling you since Stu took his ball and went away in Tampa in 2018. It ain't Hillsboro's fault. Hillsboro doesn't have any money. Who said that? Stu Sternberg. Hillsboro doesn't have any public support, any corporate support. Lie. Because Stu said it, it's true. Because the Times printed it, it's true. No, it's completely untrue, and I have facts to back it up. So it's a shame that Kevin Cash and these players have to, and we've almost gotten used to it. Here's the bottom line on the Rays: we spend shit payroll. Our owner can't get a stadium built, and it makes us look like a bunch of idiots. If these owners that want to buy this team could buy the team for a reasonable price, we'd already have the team with local ownership and a stadium on the way in Tampa, a real baseball stadium. And I'm sick and tired of it. We deserve better. We deserve to be able to sign stars like Kyle Tucker, who wants to play in Tampa, but can't because we've got a terrible owner who won't pay anybody and get a stadium done. Like Pete Alonso, another homegrown Tampa person that would love to play in Tampa, but can't play here because we got a shit stadium and a crap owner. We could build an all-star team just from players from Tampa who want to play here. And when they become free agents, would want to play here, just like the Bucs, just like the Lightning. And the reason we don't is because we have this owner. And that sucks. All right, let's take one more break, and let's move on to the Buccaneers, the state of the Buccaneers. Our last break, and then we'll be out a little bit early today. So quick break, back in 3. Stay with us.
Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. Diamond Days are back at the Golden Diamond Source, Tampa Bay's largest jewelry superstore. You know, I love Diamond Days because right now you can get up to 20% off all the diamonds in the inventory, including April's birthstone. Plus, you can take advantage of 0% financing for up to 5 years. This means that if you finance $5,000, your monthly payment would only be $83. Best of all, your Golden Diamond Source diamond never loses its value. And listen up, all soon-to-be newlyweds, here's your chance to win a $2,500 shopping spree at the Golden Diamond Source, along with a wedding cake for up to 100 guests, created by the renowned celebrity chef, The Cake Girl, as seen on the Today Show. Entering is easy. Simply visit the Golden Diamond Source on Omerton Road for your chance to win big. If you want your special someone to say yes, make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond. Visit us at 3800 Omerton Road in Clearwater. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES. Hey, Tampa Bay, it's time to get your AC unit ready for summer. And here at Third Generation Plumbing and Mechanical, we recommend getting ahead of the game, keeping your family cool before the hot summer months with one of our maintenance agreements in the hopes of avoiding the dreaded emergency service call. Our maintenance agreements include, we'll test the electrical components, check and tighten high and low voltage wire connections. We'll check the refrigerant for manufacturer's performance levels, test thermostats, calibrate if needed, clean the evaporator coil and condenser coil, and clear and treat the drain line and drain pans. Just call us at 813-961-8024 for the special rates, and a human will actually answer. 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source. The Mother's Day sale is on at the Gold and Diamond Source, so go check out all the great specials they got going on at the Gold and Diamond Source. You got to go get something for mom, and don't forget your wife is a mom too, so make sure you take care of her for Mother's Day. This, not just because she's not your mother, she's your children's mother. Make sure you take care of her.
Mother.
Somebody's mother. Make sure you take care of business at the Gold and Diamond Source. Get her something beautiful and shiny at the Gold and Diamond Source. Goldanddiamond.com is the website. You can buy online as well. Couple of notes coming out of exit interviews this morning. Deandra Liu, Bolts reporter, had this from Vasilevsky. He said, when asked about if there was anything different about the Panthers this year, he said, not at all, to be honest. They're the most consistent team in the league by a mile. We used to play like that, too, back in 2018 and 2019. I don't know why he didn't say the cup years. I think that's probably what he meant.
Yeah.
When you're that consistent throughout the full series, you get all the lucky bounces. That was a big factor, too. We probably had the shittiest luck ever in a playoff series. And that's true. You don't want to talk about that, but damn, did they have some puck luck.
Yeah.
How many, just in the last game, 2 goals went off skates. I mean, one off McDonough, one off Lundell. I mean, it's brutal, absolutely brutal. And the Lightning, I think, as I recall, they got 1 bounce that went in the back of the net. 1 bounce. But there also weren't enough scrums in front of the net. You got to create those like the Panthers did, right? So they said they work hard. They were consistent throughout the series, so they deserve all the luck. I think that's true. And Gensel said, I loved every second of being here. This was an unbelievable place to play. My family loves it. That's a big thing for me. The guys are great. Coaches are unbelievable. And it was a lot of fun for me. That's what I'm saying, folks. Is like you just got to get past it. And it's, and keep it in context. It's not 3 first-round exits. There's context to all of it, right? There's context to all of it. And I think we got to keep that in mind when we're – and I know a lot of the frustration comes from losing playoff games at home and paying a lot of money to go see those games, and they've lost 9 of 10. 9 of 10. Oof, that's brutal. That is brutal for season ticket holders.
Yeah,
you got to be better. Got to be better. So there were some questions. Where's some? Oh, yeah, I know Sergio Biltres said from Morgan & Morgan. He says the baseball will work in Orlando and looks like they have $2.5 billion and will be moving forward with the project, whether it's the Rays or a new franchise. Well, John Morgan's an attorney. He says a lot of things. He talks a lot. And I don't, by the way, he's not backing the team in terms of his big money. It's somebody else. It's that Workman guy who I don't know. He's a champion for Orlando. Good for him. Good for him. But none of this means a hill of beans, to be quite honest. And I'm not going to spend too much time talking about Orlando. If they get the team, it's going to be because Stu decided to sell it to them instead of, and then Major League Baseball has to approve it. So there's a lot that has to happen. All right. As far as the Bucs go, obviously I think they're the team that's closest to winning a championship of all 3 of our teams right now. I think the Lightning are second because they have a great core, but clearly there needs to be some major changes. And I think, more than around trading Cooch. So as far as the Bucs go, covered this team for 29 years. Never seen better chemistry. Never seen them be more stable. General manager, top of his game. Ownership has been fantastic. I think the Glazers have really grown into this as NFL owners and become really, really good owners. They give the team everything they need from a facility standpoint, from a cash standpoint to get free agents. They're tremendous owners. I know there were times when people didn't like the way the Glazers did business, and I get that, but that has changed dramatically. They're tops in the community. Brian Ford is the best COO I've seen in a long, long time in terms of sports. The dude's out there in the freaking heat of training camp, handing out ice pops to everybody. He's as fan friendly as any COO I've ever seen. And I think Jason Light has created a team that you can really, really root for. These guys are exemplary human beings. It helps them win on the field. That's the same concept that Tony Dungy brought to this team in '97 when he turned the whole franchise around. And it still works today. Get rid of the assholes and douchebags, as Jason Light so eloquently said, and fill your roster with quality dudes. And they just did that again in this draft. Now, is that going to win them a Super Bowl? I think it does manifest itself on the field with a team that plays together, plays hard, and never quits. That's why they've been able to come back 2 seasons in a row and make a run at the end of the season because there's no infighting. Most teams, you go through a 5 or 6 game losing streak, 5 of 6. Those teams rip apart because they don't have the character and the chemistry. And every year they come back. And sure, Todd Bowles should get some credit for that. No question about it. I think more credit goes to upper management because they're filling this roster with guys that don't quit. And that's what's important. And now they've got a quarterback who I think is more than capable of leading them to a Super Bowl. He makes plays in the fourth quarter. He energizes your team. He's a tremendous leader. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's really good at the line of scrimmage. He's everything you need in a quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Anybody who thinks Baker Mayfield is not good enough to win you a Super Bowl is an idiot. Yeah. I've seen it. This kid,
watch football.
I haven't seen him win a Super Bowl, but I've seen him display the qualities of a quarterback that can win a Super Bowl, in my opinion. The defense is obviously been the issue. Did they do enough in the offseason to address their defensive efficiencies? Well, they went out and got one of the top 5 sackers in the game in the last 5 years in Hassan Reddick. The numbers say that. Is he over the hill? I don't think so. I think he just went to the Jets, and that's why his production fell off.
He didn't want to go to the Jets, by the way.
Right, exactly. I think he needs to tweak the defense, give a little bit more responsibility to Mike Caldwell, Larry Foote, and let them, have some real input on changing the philosophy of this defense, make it less complicated. And I think they've got players that they can do that with now. I think the Jacob Parrish and Benjamin Morrison, these 2 corners, really good players. Really good players are going to help your back end. Tyke Smith, how they use him, I think this defense can be 10 times better than they were last year. And this offense is still good enough. So they've got a full-time game manager to help out Bowles. I don't think, just like I said in last year's offseason, I'm really not sure you could have a better offseason than what the Bucs did. I mean, maybe if they went out and signed a Myles Garrett, but you'd have had to give up too much to do that. So I think they're primed and ready to win. If the injuries go their way, I think Ibuka is going to have an impact on this team. I think both the corners are going to have an impact on his team. I think the 2 pass rushers are going to have an impact this year as well. So he went out and answered a lot of the questions that needed to be answered. And from an organization standpoint, I think they're in tremendous position. And listen, and I'll tie this all together. If there's a way that they can redo this Raymond James Stadium with a mixed-use project and include a baseball stadium and bring new ownership into the Rays, deep pockets, people locally here who know what the F they're doing, and I think that's a possibility, then suddenly a lot of these issues are solved. A lot of the Lightning are their own thing. They're going to be fine. I think they're going to be, these new owners are going to follow right in the steps of Jeff Minnick. Why would you F with that template, right? Just do what he did. You're good, right? And I think you've got an opportunity here, if you get Stu Sternberg out of the way, to really bring the Rays into this winning stratosphere that we have here in Tampa Bay. I really believe that. He's always been the impediment for the stadium and the team. And so now it's just, time to move on from that. And then we can recapture a lot of this stuff that, Tampa Bay can't get a stadium done, basically, blah, blah, whatever. And they can bring it full circle. So with that, we will end today.
Just to put a cap on that, on the Bucs draft picks, don't sleep on Walker and Roberts. I think both of these guys are going to have an immediate impact. We may not know what Chris Braswell is all about by the end of the season because he still didn't get a lot of playing time because of Elijah Roberts and David Walker.
Right.
That's just my take. I don't sleep on these guys. I know Ibuka's getting all the talk and the two corners are getting a lot of talk, and rightfully so. But, man, I think these two guys are going to have more of an impact than a lot of people think in their first season. And that's a good problem to have.
Absolutely. I'm so excited about this Bucs team. I cannot wait. We got rookie mini camp next week. So we'll be out at that, check that stuff out. And I can't wait till all this football season comes together. We got a long summer to get through before that, because I don't think and the Lightning are done. All we got is the Rays. Like, oh my God. We got some shows to produce, partner. We're gonna have to do a lot of
need to be creative.
Nostalgia as we move forward, if the Rays are all we got to talk about. All right, thank you guys for joining us. Sorry, abbreviated show today. Thanks to all of our great advertisers as well: Riveters, Italiano, Golden Diamond Source, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, Onsite Construction, FL.com. Go to their website, check them out. Third Generation Plumbing and Cafe Paradiso, and of course the great Jeeves Law Group. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back on Monday with more. I'm going to see my beautiful daughter Shay graduate from Belmont in Nashville. So we'll have all the great pictures on my social media if you can. We'll do that. Have a great weekend, everybody.